Welcome to 词师傅, the video course that will help you become a master in Chinese vocabulary. In Chinese, there are three words for life: 生活, 生命, and 人生. These words all mean life, but there are differences between them. So in this video, let's take a look at how these are different. If you were to go to Chinese Zero to Heroes dictionary, you can type in the word 生活, and you can see that the definitions include life, activity, to live, and livelihood. So the interesting thing about the word 生活 is that it can be a verb, meaning to live. But if you were to go to 生命, you can see that first of all, it's countable. You can say 一条生命, although 一条命 is more common. And we also see that it takes on the meaning of living being and creature. So you can call living things 生命. But if you were to look up 人生, you can see that it would mean life as in one's time on earth. So my whole life would be 我的人生. Further, if we were to scroll down, we can see that the images associated with 人生 has more, things like tea, well-being, and calligraphic treatments of the word 人生. It has more to do with the philosophy of living one's life, the philosophy associated with one's time on earth. But for 生活, the images are more to do with just living one's life, like daily necessities and daily living. But if you go to 生命 and take a look at the pictures, you can see that it has more to do with living things, like trees or seed germinating, things to do with things being living. And if we look at the Chinese characters, we can see that 生 means life, and 命 means life or destiny, right? So 生 and 命 both mean life. Whereas for 人生, you can see that 人 means a person, right? So it's the life of a person, 人生, human's life, a person's whole life, his time on earth. But if you go to 生活, you can see that, well, 生 also means life, but 活 here means, well, to exist, to live, to survive. So 活 is more like a verb, to live. So that's why 生活 can also take on the sense of living. And that's also why these pictures above are pictures of daily life, of living one's life. Further, we can also see collocations with the word 生活. We can see that with adjective 的生活, we get words like 幸福的生活, 平静的生活, 美好的生活, right? Happy life, quiet life, a beautiful life, right? Life that you want, 自己想要的生活, etc. But with 生命, we can see that the collocations are a little bit different. For example, we have 逝去的生命, life that is passing away, precious life, right? Because you can see that these images have to do with things being alive, right? The opposite of having 生命 is not having 生命, which is being dead, right? So that's why we have words like 逝去的生命, like life that's passing away, 最宝贵的生命, the most precious life, etc. Right? And as for 人生, we can see that the adjectives that go with 人生 are things like 精彩的人生, an exciting life, 不平凡的人生, a extraordinary life, right? You can also see happy life, which is kind of similar to 生活, right? So in this sense, 生活 and 人生 are similar. However, as the character 人 suggests, 人生 means a person's life on earth, right? So his whole life. So that's why you have more adjectives like 精彩的人生, exciting life, and 短暂的人生, a short life. So adjectives that emphasizes on one's whole life on earth typically go with 人生 and not 生活. 生活 is just daily life. Each day as it passes by, like eating, getting up, things like that. That's 生活. Whereas 人生 is like growing old and experiencing your entire life. That's 人生. Take a look at verb collocations, verb and 生活. You can see we have 享受生活 enjoy life, 过生活 live one's life, 丰富校园文化生活 to enrich campus culture and life. And for 生命, we have things like endangering life, 危及生命, saving life, 挽救生命, 珍爱生命, to hold life as precious, 珍爱生命, 珍惜生命, which is similar to 珍爱生命. As for 人生, we can see that we get collocations like 感悟人生 to understand, to get a deeper understanding of one's own life, right? 思考人生 to contemplate on life, 改变人生 to change one's life, 经历了人生 having experienced life, 度过人生 having passed life, right? So all to do with your entire life, your years on earth. And now let's take a look at measure words. With 生活, because it's not really countable, so you don't have a lot of measure words that go with 生活. These are very rare. I think the most common is 一种生活. It's a kind of life that you live. I like this kind of life. 我喜欢这种生活, right? 一种生活. As for the other ones, they're more rare. As for 生命, of course, we have 一条生命 as illustrated above. So we have 一条生命 right here. And I think, yeah, that's probably the most common measure word, 一条生命. And as for 人生, your entire life on earth, we get measure words like 一段人生, like a period of one's life. And the other ones are more rare. 一曲人生 is likening your entire life to a song or to a piece of music. 一曲人生, it's like your life is very artistic and very exciting, right? It's like your life is music. 一曲人生. 一幕人生, that's likening your life to some kind of theatrical act. Like like your life is like a movie. 一幕人生. Yeah, the other ones are more rare. And now let's take a look at other collocations. Let's take a look at noun, 的人生. So something, the entire life. For example, 今后的人生, life after today. 在以后的人生中, in the life that is after, that is hereafter. 将来的人生, life that is in the future. 有意义的人生, life having meaning, etc. But for 生活, we have things like 人们的生活, people's life, 群众的生活, the life of the public, right? 幸福的生活, well, this is not a noun, this is an adjective actually. 今后的生活, life after today, right? So when it comes to words like time, 今后, 生活 and 人生 are more or less interchangeable, except for 人生 is more emphasizing on your entire life because it has the word 人 in it, right? And as for 生命, let's take a look. 生命, we have collocations like people's life, 人的生命, right? 病人的生命, the life of the patient, right? So it's more emphasizing on the fact that you are alive. You're not dead, right? 人类的生命, human life. 人民的生命和财产, the life and property of people, right? So these are the things that are worth protecting. 真实是新闻的生命, right? Truth is the life or lifeblood to journalism. 真实是新闻的生命. So 生命 is more emphasizing on the fact that you're alive and not dead. And now let's take a look at 生命的 something. We get collocations like 生命的意义, the meaning of life. 生命之树, the tree of life. 生命的代价, the price of life. 生命之源, the origin of life. Right? So the origin of living things, right? The meaning of being alive, these all go with 生命。Whereas for 人生 we get collocations like 在人生的道路上 on the road of life, on the path of life, 人生的道路上，人生之路，人生的真谛 the truth to life, right? Or the final truth to life, right? 人生的真谛 the real meaning to life. I should have just looked at the translations here. 在人生的旅途中 in the journey of life. So with 人生的 something, we typically use words like road, path, journey. With 生活的 noun, 生活的 something, you can see the nouns that go with 生活 include 生活的向往, right? The longing to life or the yearn of life. 生活的一部分 a part of life, right? 生活的追求 what you seek in life. 对生活的热爱 the love of life, right? Because 生活 is a verb meaning to live one's life, right? To enjoy life, to do things in life, right? 生活的一部分, like this is part of life, right? So anything to do with living from day to day, right? You know, eating, sleeping, things like that. 生活的乐趣, right? The enjoyment of life, the joy of life. 生活的压力 the pressure of life. Things to do with the mundane, with daily life, you know, we use 生活. Moving on with more collocations with 生活. In this category, the word 的 is optional. So we have things like 生活垃圾, living garbage. they're not alive. It means that the garbage that you produce from day to day, right? The garbage that you produce from life. 生活水平的提高 the elevation of one's standard of living. 生活质量 the quality of life, right? So anything to do with your daily life. 生活污水 污水 means sewage. 生活污水 is like the sewage that you get from, you know, residential buildings. That's 生活污水. 生活环境 living environment, etc. And as with 生命 we get 生命周期, right? 生命危险生命科学 life sciences, and 生命安全 right? Life safety, right? If I show 拼音生命健康 life and health, right? 生命活力 living force, living energy or vitality, things that has to do with being alive. And as with 人生 we get things like 人生经历 experience of one's life, 人生轨迹 the path of one's life, 人生哲理 the philosophy to one's life. And moving on, let's take a look at some common mistakes with 人生. So these are some of the mistakes the learners make, but the problem might not be the word 人生. For example, in this sentence, the person wrote 想爱人生, but he meant 享受人生, right? He just miswrote this as I. By the way, these flags indicate the origin of these students. So, for example, this student is from Kazakhstan. Now, let me give you an example of a sentence with a problem. Example, take a look at this sentence. He said, 一个人的人生中需要的要素很多，事业、健康、自己、家庭、爱情、金钱等等. So in this sentence, he meant that in one's life, we need a lot of things, right? Career, health, family, right? 人生 is a good choice, but probably 生活 is a better choice because it has to do with daily life, right? But unless he's emphasizing on the fact that we need these things, we need to experience these things in our entire life. But typically people would use 生活 in this context. And as for 生活, this student from Guinea, he wrote, he said actually, 我看见他, probably it's an animal, 他好像有生活. So here he should have used 生命, right? He meant to say that it looks like it is alive. 它好像有生命, not 生活. 生活 is living one's life. Now let's take a look at common mistakes with the word 生命. You can see that this student from Thailand, he wrote 完整自己的生命故事, complete one's life story. Right? He wanted to say life story, but he said 生命故事. Really, 人生故事 is better, right? Because remember, with 人生, we get collocations like 人生的道路, 人生之路, 人生的意义, right? Anything to do with the path or journey of one's life, life story. Typically, we use 人生 and not 生命. 生命 has to do with being alive, right? Like animal is a living thing. That's 有生命的生物, 有生命的动物, right? So with 故事, we typically use 人生 instead. Anyways, I hope that didn't bore you too much. In any case, you can go to our HSK dictionary. You can go to www.chinesezerotohero.com/HSK-dictionary. There you can look up any word and find all the information that I just showed you.